Playing incredible basketball over the last week. Every game the last week has been the most important game of the season. And now after playing a huge game last night against the Los Angeles Lakers, a lot of these guys played 30 minutes plus, really gave it their all, goes down to the last minute in LA, playing a back-to-back in Denver with all the things that everybody's dealing with, the different ailments, pelvic contusions, the ankle injuries. It's definitely understandable. You got to go through shoot-around to see how you feel to play the game tonight.
And Malik, Steph Curry is coming off two incredible games. The 52-point outburst against the Memphis Grizzlies last Tuesday, and then last night, 37 points and 6 assists. He's playing at his highest level as he's been all season.
Playing incredible basketball, moving without the ball beautifully. Found 23-point shots in Memphis. Last night, Bonte talked about 37 points. Got to the free throw line 14 times, made 13. So the balance of attack has been phenomenal. And this is a totally different team that the Denver Nuggets are going to see if they're whole with Jimmy Butler.
Now, Jonathan Kuminga come back last night after missing the game with the pelvic contusion. Again, but one of his best games since he's returned from a 31-game absence. Came off the bench as he fell. His point of attack defense, crucial against LeBron James and Luka Doncic. He grabs 9 rebounds and a very efficient 7 of 12 from the floor.
Okay, think about this. This is my X factor, Bonte. JK coming off the bench. Think about having to deal with the Warriors starting lineup, who's already undefeated this season. And then when you have the bench come in the game, you have a scoring, versatile option like JK. I thought he was special last night. His ability to be patient, to be a playmaker, make the right reads to start the game off. And then when they need you to score, just go downhill right at the rim. You can jump over whoever is there at the rim. Tonight it's going to be Jokic. I mean, any other night, JK is the best athlete on the floor, and it's really a privilege for the Warriors to have him coming off the bench.
Yeah, I watched Jonathan Kuminga last night, Bonte and Festus. I saw a guy under control, composed, with great shot selection. I saw a lot of Jimmy Butler in his offensive attack. Getting to a triple threat, playing with a live dribble, surveying the floor, making good decisions. He had 4 assists, 0 turnovers. The 9 rebounds were big. So this was a tremendous performance. And you talk about the defense, it's a huge luxury, and almost you have to have matchups with the Lakers to be able to guard LeBron James and Luka Doncic one-on-one. With Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga and Draymond, they can do that, double team selectively, and then put the pressure on the role players to try and win the game.
Yeah, that was a big key down the stretch against the Lakers last night as JK closed. And here's what Draymond Green and Steph Curry had to say about Jonathan Kuminga's performance.
Takes his team to another level. He was so patient, let the game come to him. He got going a little bit getting downhill as soon as he got in there, but I thought the biggest play he made was when he got it in the middle of the paint and kicked it out to Moses. That just shows growth. He can take that shot. He can make that shot. And he does often. But to go in there, not take that shot and have the shot, but kick it out for an even better shot and get someone else going, that's what stars do. So it's just good to see that next level of growth from him. And we need him to continue playing the way he played tonight.
I think we need to kind of just let this guy play basketball. We don't have to have a declaration after every game. We don't have to be in a situation where we're judging every minute he's out there. I understand he's the next in line to, come into his own as an NBA player. But, God, I wish my 4th year was it the greatest game ever? Was it a bad game ever? How was his rotation? Like, he's figuring it out. If we're going to win at the highest level, he has to be a part of it. So keep doing what he's doing.
And Malik, this is the second time we've heard Steph Curry defend JK in the last week. After the Pelicans game last Friday, Steph Curry said, hey, there's something with the two-man game with JK and I. We have something there, and that could take us a long way in the playoffs. Last night, you heard the same thing as he scores 18 points and grabs 9 rebounds and dishes out 4 assists.
Yeah, I think Steph Curry's right on target. Jonathan Kuminga, to me, he's 22 years old now. His career has been a steady upward trajectory in all areas of the game, offensively, defensively, decision-making. He continues to improve, and he's doing that this year. Now, during some parts of everyone's career, there's some lineup changes, there's some injuries. You have to adjust to that. But Jonathan, to me, has showed star quality, and I don't think that has changed one bit. Now, come playoff time, Festus, it's really important, and the Warriors know they need him to take that next step to get to the conference finals, to the NBA finals, they need Jonathan Kuminga locked in like he was last night. And I agree with Steph. There's no need to make a proclamation. Was that Jonathan's best game ever? We saw him play great games since he walked in the league till now. And just like any other player in the NBA, they vary. There's ups and downs. But in the present right now, with 7 games left, going into the playoffs, they need Jonathan Kuminga. Steph knows it. Draymond knows it.
Well, the reason why the Warriors need JK is because he is the best athlete on the floor. But what that means for this lineup is when they play small, you have a guy who can go guard a big, a 4-man, a 5-man. He's that strong. He's fast enough to guard a point guard. And he also can move up and down the floor with the ball in his hands. You saw him handling the ball last game offensively. You saw him making plays. I think what Steph is saying right there is leave this guy alone, because the more these narratives keep going out there, you're putting pressure on a young man to feel like he has to fill the stat sheets every night. Meanwhile, you have a guy like Jimmy Butler who affects the game in a whole bunch of different ways. That's what they want Jonathan Kuminga to do. Come into the game. If the game calls for you to score, you go score. If the game calls for you to go make plays, you make plays. But you can't try to appease people out there, because that's the fastest way to get off your game.
No, that's well said, Fezzi Fell and Bully there. JK playing well, averaging 16 points per game this season, as you heard from Steph Curry. Their best record since February 8th overall with Jimmy Butler. When he suits up, the Dubs are 20-4. Right behind the Boston Celtics and OKC there with the 20-5 record. Cleveland behind them. Houston has played some really good ball. They're the number 2 team in the Western Conference at 18-8. But this Warriors roster has been rolling. They've won 13 of their last 16 games, coming off a 4-2 road trip. Let's go inside the Chase Center for the first time all evening with the great KB, Garrett Burke, Petaluma's finest, Dalton Johnson, and our Warriors insider and Hall of Famer here at NBC Sports Bay Area, Monty Paul here at KB, the starting lineup with Jake, with Moody, Pods, Steph Curry, Butler, and of course Draymond Green, a 13-0 record, KB, so far this season.
Yeah, 13-0, and it's the starting lineup they've obviously used the most. So you have some very seasoned veterans. But you also have Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, 2 young guys who want to carry their weight. And you can't just look at what they're doing spacing-wise. You also have to look at what they're accomplishing on defense.
Yeah, I actually asked Brandon Podziemski and Moses Moody about this at shoot-around at UCLA. And Pod said, we do not want to be the weak links, especially defensively. And actually, since Jimmy Butler arrived from the trade, Brandon Podziemski has the best defensive rating on the Warriors. Moses Moody, he's a hair behind Draymond Green. Both of those guys have really stepped up on the defensive side. But I really go back to the mentality of these 2 young guys. You know, starting alongside 2 veteran stars, 3 future Hall of Famers, that can either add pressure or build confidence. And for them, I think it has really built confidence. Whether Brandon Podziemski is having a slow start shooting or coming back from injury, he's had this really good bounce-back mentality. And we know Moses Moody. We basically call him Stay Ready Moses Moody, right? And we've seen his role fluctuate since he's been a rookie, and now he's really just dived into this role, taking on a big-time scorer and knocking down open shots, and also seeing Austin Reeves and saying, look out, I'm coming through, I'm ready to fly. So really fun to see these young guys step up alongside 3 absolute stars.
Well, Moses Moody won a championship his rookie season, but he didn't play in a lot of those games. He was the youngest Warrior to ever win a championship, by the way. Then you got Brandon Podziemski, the young